either haven't heard folks read a lot, or haven't heard them read in a while, or I'm always just really happy to see them. So this was incredible, and I'm really, really moved by everything, and I'm going to try really hard not to not to ruin everything. You know, hopefully that was a joke. I don't think I'll ruin everything. I think everybody did a good enough job of it. Anyway, so this is a mess that I tried to put together earlier today. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I'm going to start with a poem that's new-ish. It might not be like, you know, it's not the newest thing I've come up with, but it's new-ish. And it doesn't, anyway. Dear everybody. Dear everybody I've ever shared a meal with, dear everybody I've ever stood with at the corner, waiting for the light to change, waiting to cross. Dear everybody who has ever kissed my cheek as I've walked into a party, dear everyone who kissed my cheek as I left the party, dear everyone who has heard me laughing up close, dear everyone who's bought me a beer, dear everybody with my address crossed out and rewritten a couple times in your books, dear everybody who has old Christmas cards that I've signed that you don't want to toss, dear everybody with my Tupperware in your cabinets, dear everyone who burned me a CD, I've decided to be less friendly and to stay home rather than meet up. I'm not as kind as I used to want you to believe. A shiny snake stretches from my heart and out my mouth. Dear everybody, take my regrets and stuff them into your own Hallmark gift bag. There was, I think it was Sydney had the hair poem that involved hair. Yeah, curl it. Yeah. So here's my hair. I have a bunch of hair. Hair and laundry are themes that come up again and again for some reason, or for like a long time. So if you're looking for a theme, I don't know. But this is and this is old. This is entitled "The Curls" on behalf of Delilah, and it's about an ex. So anyway, the curls. You were merely superstitious. The way you'd comb and preen, you were maybe only vain, able to trample buildings, snap telephone poles like dry matchsticks, to lift me above your gorgeous head with just one veined hand. I tried to surprise you with your own strength. Hair is dead cells, so I, over your pillow, with scissors, mourned your hair. Fear of you waking, tossing me out the window like an apple core. My hands shook dangerously. I heard the clock tick in the sock drawer. I didn't do it to show you off. Don't believe me if you can't. Your body expanded with air, collapsed into itself, and I snipped fingerfuls of hair, a soft shh where the blades met. You snored, and I held my breath. I bit my lip until the thin taste of blood spread in my mouth and the curls gathered around us like roses after a bullfight. That was great, sorry. All right, yeah, let's scooch this one out of the way. Recently, I've been moving away from meaning. I don't know how that's going necessarily. I don't claim success with this, but I'm definitely not as concerned about what something means as much as what it sounds like. And this is one of those kinds of poems. So it was like I wrote it and then I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure what this says, but I'm enjoying it. And then it's kind of horrifying too. So anyway, there's that. There's enjoyment and horror. All in one thing. So, things, threads, pickles. I have things to tell you, little flower, things to tell you, buttercup. Oh, the smell of ash and smoke. I barely remember my own name, let alone. But here, in my hand, I hold a newspaper. Why would I do such a thing? Aren't you a pretty one? Aren't you a sweet, sweet peach? I dream about pickles and cabbage, peppercorns and brine. I dream about falling pigeons. I dream about cutting into my thigh with scissors and exposing colonies under my skin. Small dream people bustling through my muscles while I just walk around. If you had an extra arm, where would you put it? My extra arm would grow from the base of my spine. It would have at least 2 extra joints, and I would wave goodbye all day. I have things I've forgotten to say, snoring lover. I lost the thread a while back. I fell asleep too. Alright. A few years ago I wrote this, and it's long. It's not long. I mean, nothing that I wrote is really long. But this is a series, so yeah. Anyway, it's a series, and I enjoy reading it. So, and I haven't had a chance in a while, so thank you, Bob. And it's just sort of in a world without. So it's all these different scenarios of various worlds without things. So this is my, it's like my version of sci-fi. If you can imagine it is like so small, like the smallest type of sci-fi. There's a Canadian movie called, I think it's called The End or Last Night, and it's about the last night, and it's such a small scale disaster movie. It's beautiful. And it's set in Montreal, I don't remember it. But anyway, that's the sort of thing. Low budget sci-fi. No tricks. In the world without water, we are dust, occasionally congealed in grease or oil. Our food is dry and we can neither dissolve nor absorb, so we grind. We abrade our meals in a sandstorm of hunger. Without water, we don't need umbrellas or snow shovels. The priests can no longer baptize us. We're all pagans again, dusty heathens sharpening bones. In the world without ink, we use pencils and remember how fragile our words become after handling. We return our hands to chisels and our minds strengthen, snatching and gripping facts and details. The pieces that are not caught are lost. Numbers and names for people and things hover until we cut or burn them into wood or stone that is hewn or quarried just to bear our memories. In the world without doors, we've given up on property and have recognized that a turtle is vulnerable even in its shell. Some predators don't mind using weapons. We share more. Space is common. Cars, buses, trains, and airplanes are far more dangerous. With nothing to cut, keymakers have begun building intricate memorials to doorknobs, chains, and latches. In a world without mirrors, we wake up and watch the condensation on ceramic tiles after our shower. When we brush our teeth, we do so undistracted by the flatness of our hair or the thing that grows on the tip of our nose. We are ready to go as soon as we're covered and comfortable. We dress appropriately to the weather. We only know if we have spinach or lipstick on our teeth if someone else mentions it, but most of us just let such things pass. We cannot see behind ourselves when we drive. We look only forward, right or left, only as far as our next turn. Reverse is far too risky. In the world without numbers, our height and weight are determined in relation to other things, as tall as an upended bicycle, as short as an average daffodil stem, as heavy as an empty bookcase, as light as a dry kitchen sponge. We paint our houses elaborately. The wealthy commission portraits of themselves on their front doors. Early and late are charges that are brought before judges. Money becomes fuel. Sports teams no longer win or lose. In the world without paper, mail carriers take much longer on their routes. Some days are spent sitting on porches waiting until we get home to deliver messages. In the world without children, we grow older and weaker. I take care of you and then you die. By then, I am old too. I arrange for a nurse or a neighbor. I arrange for help. I wave to the young. I bake them cookies. Help me. Moving my bed to the first floor, putting the air conditioner in or out of the window. I have no framed photos lining my walls or bookshelves. In the world without sisters, my heart is inside of my rib cage more often than not. In the world without brothers, all my threats are empty and I have no idea how to take a punch. In the world without pillows, our posture gets really, really good. We quit leaning and reclining. Our core muscles were never so strong. Our spines were never so straight. Asceticism suits us. We look terrific. In the world without museums, we stare at anything that stays still, trying to ascertain reasons. Mostly, there are no reasons, only histories, which are different. We start to deliberately arrange the trash on our curbs on Sunday evenings. Neighbors begin walking up and down the streets, admiring the work and thought that went into trash day. In the world without hands, we kiss more. We develop robots that we control with our breath to help us use toilets and to eat. We sleep better, but masturbate less. We don't high-five or wave. No one ever gets our nose. Nonverbal communication relies on expressive chins and gestures of our shoulders. In the world without neighbors, the broken window at the back of the house would have gone ignored for ages. No one would have eaten the candy I bought for Halloween. No one would yell, "Car!" and roll their eyes. No one would smoke on his porch and tell me I'm looking good. In the world without cameras, we can prove nothing, so we lie less. So few believe us. Memories become sharper and sharper, even if they are made up. We can close our eyes and see anything we'd like. I mentioned museums. This is, that kind of like ties into a bunch of other things actually that I'm looking at. So this is a museum poem. The Renoir poems, or the Renoir exhibit at the art museum a while ago, is very soothing. Like soothing is like it's just you walk and you're like, oh, everybody looks so comfortable. It's not really exciting. It's not really interesting. You're just sort of like, you know, flowers. You know. Anyway, that's what this is. The girls seem, and it's entitled Late Renoir. The girls seem sleepy, warm, and milk-fed, patient under the avuncular gaze of the artist. You say, I love the way he works with hair and clothing. You nose up to the canvas, admire craft. My own eyes are on the floor, taking in the shoes of the women squeaking at our pace through the hall. Renoir had young children into his 50s, and he painted them. You could do that. All I think in this room of windows into another man's life. Let me bear you your Jean and Claude and Gabrielle. Let me sit for you with a baby at my breast. Let your sights set then on what could be here, in my arm, my belly. Let the whole of the universe open to you in the rabbit breath of a sleeping baby. Stillness, ease. Dancers do not dance, or if they do, they move slightly, languorously. Motion is voided. A wind ripples but the skin of a pond. Nothing below notices. Large bather. Hours since my shower, but you sniff behind my ear and tell me how great my hair smells. And some of these nudes kind of look like you. So, speaking of little obsessions, this is entitled Maternal Age. And yeah, anyway. You fall like cement or like a brick, like a gargoyle. What an awful day. Here's your pulse. You feel it caffeinated. You feel it hot on your wrist, but more in the thud of your breastbone. Eat the moments you can, but not too much, because this is the way we fall apart, like cement. Sex has become a challenge, a painful compromise between our generation and the next. Oh, the potential. My partner doesn't feel the same urgency. Evergreen, he won't lose his leaves. I just read another article about advanced maternal age. Someday it won't matter. I will either have a baby or I won't. Today, though, I just want to collect all the sperm I can until my thighs are saturated, until I don't have to wonder. I want to know that I'm not alone in my body. Greedy, I don't want to die alone. I had all these dolls as a little girl. I remember screaming in church because I wanted to bring them in from the car. I wanted to sit my dolls in the pew with me. Otherwise, how would they get their God? The comments on the article said that women were too choosy and waited too long to partner off. Women spend too much time trying to become men and make money. Women have too many standards that conflict with their biology, and any missed opportunities are the fault of Gloria Steinem and Nancy Pelosi. Women have to settle for good, not great men. Women shouldn't aim too high. Women shouldn't be too friendly. Women should have babies young, but should never ask for assistance. Women should have babies young, but never take them on airplanes. Women should fall in love with all the men who love them. I think I maybe have fallen in love with all of the men who've ever loved me. Should I have started having babies when I first fell in love? When I first found that sex and trust and care might be scarves to juggle? My oldest baby is 14, but imaginary. I can barely think over the sound of my heart. It is alone in its propulsion. It is an engine that asks for so little. And this is a poem that comes from a series. Oh. this is a poem that comes from a series that reimagines my rape, whatever it was, 2002. So it's been a while. I'm good. But it reimagines the rape as like a living human baby that I kind of have to take care of, which I think was very helpful for me. So yeah, Sonification. And this is the last poem in the series, but it was the first poem that I feel like I completed of the series. I was not prepared for my great baby's appetite. The small mouth had been fed rejection and still had room for seconds. I became a banquet. She took every part of me as sustenance. I was a carvery carcass. When I went cold, she made sandwiches of me on white bread with cranberry sauce and mayonnaise. She feasted until she grew full and tired. Then she slept, and I slept when she slept because there was no other time for sleeping. Soon, bones were all I had for her, so she filled a pot and boiled me up with onion and carrot and celery. I bubbled while she stirred. The bones she left to dry on the windowsill, and when they were brittle, she broke them and crushed them with mortar and pestle. The powder she mixed with flour and baked a loaf of bread for every day that she remembered, which was most days. On the days that she forgot, she starved and was quiet about it. She wondered at the ache in her belly, and I wondered at the fullness of mine. I have no idea. All right, so I have two poems here. Anyway, I'm in The World Without, I mentioned like A World Without Sister. And I have a sister, but we're slightly estranged at the moment, and it's horrifying. And it's horrifying. It is horrifying. It's awful. And so that's this poem. And I so miss my sister that I think of her never, but when I do, the last chorus of Knockin' on Heaven's Door rings me out. I so miss my sister that I keep scrolling through the motivational, inspirational, religious memes she's tagged in on Facebook. I keep scrolling past her dead friends' photos and their mother's prayers. I so miss my sister that I taste her name long before I say it. I cushion her name with pauses. I spread her name with butter. I swallow her name like bile. I hate myself for not knowing how to respond, for lacking telepathy, for not picking her up near the zoo at 4 a.m. that one time she called, for not using the right slang, for tensing up outside the halfway house. My love is not tough. My love is stupid. It sounds like an after-school special. My love is the first to die in the horror movie, mouth open, blinking, unbelieving. My love is cannon fodder. She knows this and cuts me out so I don't embarrass my love with its shortcomings. She says, "No, Court, you don't. Never mind." And when all the questions rush the gate, they get stuck and suffocate. No, Court, it's not. Just stop. This is one that was inspired by a friend poet who posted something on Facebook. And if you know, you might be familiar, but she posted something on Facebook after the death of her mother, and she said something about how she hopes her mother is in heaven watching movies with her dad. And it was just this beautiful idea, and I think movies are like such a... I love movie theaters, and I feel that. Anyway, if heaven is a movie theater, sink into the most plush seats, and the bottoms of your shoes stick on decades of spilled soda. Lights dim, and there, in the beginning of blood in your heart, face toward the only light. First row, and the noise drowns you. Only look up, only see the screen. And who cares which faces look back at you? Who knows what vistas yawn above you? Here, no lady asks her husband the name of the actor and what movies he was in before. No man texts to your left, hands glowing as though he held some magic and not his fucking phone. Darkness is a gift, and it gives you everything you need. Darkness licks around you like flames at the base of a pyre, like a cat, like a horse, like the ocean licks the underside of a boat. And if heaven is the first notes of the score, the just shut lights, the first blackness of the scene, I promise I won't watch through my hands. No, I'll sink into the plush seats and sink into the plush seats and sink into the hush and sink into the plush seats. Thank you so much.